Hello everyone, it's Lion here with Hobbies of a Man. And quick note before we start the video, please like and subscribe and comment down below. I'm trying to get over 50 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you guys could help me out, that'd be awesome. I'm doing a week of daily uploads for this last week of May of 2020. And that's just so I can try to get more people interested and more people into the channel because I'm trying to grow, you know? And thank you guys very much for listening and enjoy the video. Hello everyone, it's Lion here with Hobbies of a Man, and today we're doing another manga review. Now today's manga is going to be Interview with Monster Girls Volume 1. This is written by Petos. It's published by Kodansha. I got this in a Volume 1 sale like a month, kind of like a month ago. And it was like $1. I think they're doing it again, so you guys might want to check that out. The genres here are going to be comedy, supernatural, and this is technically a seinen title, which I can see because it's not exactly, you know, like something teenagers would appreciate, I think, like they might, but there's a little bit more of a nuance to it. And this does have an adaptation, although I don't know anything about it. And the premise here is basically that a biology teacher kind of has dreams of having friendships and interviewing or learning more about demi-humans. He mentions in the very first, little bit of the story that he actually wanted to do his dissertation about demi-humans, but there wasn't enough data for him to be able to, so he did something else. And yeah, so through like the process of being a teacher, he kind of runs into a pair of girls, and he finds out that his school does host a couple demi-humans, and his dream basically becomes true. And through interacting with these kids who all happen to be, female demi-humans in this case, he kind of becomes a mentor for these teen monster girls, which is actually kind of wholesome and kind of different from what I was expecting. Because, usually when you're reading a book, a manga that features monster girls, you're going to think of something like Monster Musume or, like something of that sort. But this is a much more wholesome, gentle kind of thing, which was, actually surprisingly good. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, so in my book reviews, I look at 5 things, and I haven't done this in a while, so bear with me. So I look at plot, character, world building, art, and fan service. The first 3 are kind of like my objective view of the book. Those are kind of things that a book needs in order to be, good. The art is mostly my opinion, although for manga it's rather important, because if I don't like the art, I'm not going to want to read the book. And, that's kind of just how it is. And fan service is kind of like a warning or something, that people might not want in their stories. And so I'm doing my job here as a reviewer to tell them if it's there or not. Let's just jump right into it. So the plot line here is interesting enough. It's kind of not very, heavy, I guess. It's very minimal. It's just like he talks to monster girls and he like helps them figure out their like problems. And they all kind of have like specific problems that they just kind of need an adult to help them with. So it's not like bad. It's just, it's not a very plot heavy story is what I mean. It's not Naruto, you're not following a kid as he does these things in order to be this other thing, You're really kind of looking at it as a kind of study in character, if that makes any sense. That makes it sound kind of pretentious and like it's very literary, but it's not really. It's just an enjoyable story. And everything's kind of separated into little vignettes, little like short stories, which each deals with a different character, more or less. And it kind of feels like a high school drama, something like a CW show would have, but, without all the extra bloatedness that, CW shows tend to have. Yeah, so it was good enough. I enjoyed it. It was like an average-ish storyline. Nothing crazy, nothing, particularly amazing, and nothing particularly bad either. The characters are actually what I really enjoyed about this story. I really love the characters that they have here. The vampire girl, is a very fun character. She's very much like the cutesy kind of airheaded girl, but she's also has a lot of strength of character to her. She kind of stands up for other people. She is kind of like the secondary main character because she's the one that spends most of the time with the teacher guy. And yeah, the other monster girls, there's a Doulahan monster girl who is kind of tall and older looking than the other girls, but she's also kind of boyish. She has a boyish charm, I guess is what you would call it. And there's also a snow girl, snow woman. She's very silent. She doesn't really do anything, but she is kind of like a good supporting character because her situation in the story kind of helps us sympathize with her and kind of with monster girls in general, and then it lets the vampire girl kind of be more prominent in the story because she goes and defends her. And then we have a teacher that's a monster girl. She's like a succubus. And yeah, those are the characters, and they all kind of represent something or a type of problem that teenagers would face. Kind of like, I hadn't really realized it as I was reading, but then as I was like done and processing it, I kind of realized that each one of them kind of represents a different thing that people in general go through when they are teenagers. The vampire girl is kind of like a type of person that has eating disorders, or like someone that would have like some sort of restriction on what they can eat and what they can't. And although that's not really that big of an issue, usually it's something that you can feel self-conscious about. Like, if you've ever dieted and like all your friends are eating whatever they want and you're like stuck eating like your little salad or whatever, that makes you uncomfortable when you're a teenager. or if you're Muslim or something, which, by the way, happy Eid or Eid Mubarak, I think is the right thing to say. If you're someone like that has, restrictions on what you can eat, as you're growing up, that might make you self-conscious and you might not want to eat with other people. So she kind of represents that sort of thing. The Doulahan is kind of the untraditional body type / ugly duckling kind of kid. That girl that's self-esteem is kind of low, that she doesn't really feel that she deserves love because she's ugly or something like that. She kind of has that sort of thing going for her, which is another thing that a lot of teenagers struggle with growing up. It's this whole problem where, like, am I good enough for other people? Which actually, it's not even really something that teenagers struggle with. It's something that all people of all ages kind of struggle with. And then Yuki, who is the snow girl, I can't remember what her proper designation is. I think it's Snow Woman. She's kind of an introvert / like anxiety kind of person. Like, she's very quiet. She doesn't say much. She kind of runs away from people when they try to interact with her. She comes off like stuck up and, like above others, but that's kind of like the other kids projecting their own problems onto her. She's really much more unsure about herself and doesn't know if she's worth the attention of other people, which is, another thing that teenagers really struggle with. And then the succubus character, she doesn't really fit that type of mold that I kind of set up for the other characters, or that I saw from the other characters. But she is kind of like the, I guess, kind of logical conclusion of what the Doulahan girl kind of represents. It's someone that has had love problems, or, problems with fitting in, and now as an adult has, kind of reverted to loneliness as a way to deal with, her inability to function properly, I guess, kind of. Because the way they paint her is that she's a succubus and she wears a gym clothes all day, because they're the least flattering. And so, she basically is afraid that if she does anything to really be feminine, I guess, she'll kind of let her succubusness out, and that's going to affect everyone negatively around her. And I guess that's technically true, but she kind of has that problem where she fears that she and other people will lose control, and then so she tries to, you know, get away from that. But then when she's at home, she kind of really longs for that kind of thing, like human interaction, to the extent that, you know, she falls in love with someone. She really wants that, but she like can't because of her own limitations. Although the real world kind of version would be, you know, your own like instability, your own emotional instability, or, you know, your lack of trust in others, that sort of thing. And yeah, so the characters here are really good, and they might actually not have been made with the purpose of being, you know, representative of something a teenager would go through, but they really do come off that way, at least in my opinion. And I might just be reading too much into it. That's entirely possible, but I do feel like they do fit into that, you know, analysis, I guess. And yeah, so world building here is very well executed. You know where they kind of come from. It's kind of like a random genetic mutation is kind of happening. And so kids and, you know, kids are being born with these differences and being different, and kind of people have to take it in stride and then, you know, kind of work them back into society in a like productive way. And yeah, you really know kind of what they deal with and don't really like have any issues with how it's happening. So it's really good. I like it. I mean, that's kind of the only world building aspect, kind of. Everything else is like, it's just normal Japan, which, I mean, should probably be explained to a lot of us in the West, but we kind of understand enough of it as we read that it's not like really a problem. And yeah, so here the art is kind of like my only criticism. It's that it's not that great. Like, I mean, it's good, but I don't like the way that their faces are drawn a lot of the time. The succubus character, her face looks really square. Like, she's supposed to be like a succubus, so she should be really pretty. So regardless of whether she wears makeup or not, she should look nice. But she looks really like mannish and square looking, which I don't know if that's supposed to be a drawing representing how she wants to feel or what she actually looks like, if that makes any sense. I don't like the main character's like nose structure. I don't like how it looks. I don't know. But overall, it's good. I like, it's good enough, but it's not exactly my favorite. And it's really just those two things. Like, their faces are all very square. Well, it's not square. It's like they're straight and then they're rounded out at the bottom. But it just kind of looks like they have really big, like jawline. But, like, it doesn't work on the female characters because they just look like square heads. I don't know. And there's not really any fan service. There's like one scene that's kind of fan servicey, and it's from the vampire girl. She kind of talks about sucking blood, and you know, the way she explains it is kind of like perverted, you know, like the traditional Dracula sexy type of neck sucking, that sort of thing. And yeah, that's basically it. I rated this a 4 out of 5 or an 8 out of 10, which is kind of high for something that I feel I had a lot of criticism of, at least plotline and art-wise, but it was just really enjoyable to read. It was rather, I'm not going to say exactly cute, but it was a lot more wholesome than like anything I was expecting when I picked it up. And yeah, I definitely recommend this title if you're looking for Monster Girls where it's not just like played for the fan service. But other than that, yeah, I mean, it's just a good read. Everyone should check it out. I can't think of any similar titles. Like, not really, because most of the Monster Girl titles that I can think of, or anything similar like Aliens, is really like fan servicey, and this is not really about that. So yeah, that's basically it. Thank you guys very much for watching. Please like and subscribe and comment down below. You know, let me know what you guys thought about this. Have you read it? Did you enjoy it? And do you like this take on monster girls? You know, the side of like they're just normal people that have different needs than regular humans, or do you like the whole like etchy fan servicey type of stuff that's kind of normal with monster girls right now? And yeah, I'm trying to reach 50 subscribers, so if you guys would please subscribe, that'd be awesome. And like I said, thank you guys very much for watching. See you guys later.